All right, Shalom. First and foremost, before I begin this lesson, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Racha HaKodash. The honors go out to the apostles, elders, great millstone, who rule and teach well. Shalom wa barakiam to you brothers and sisters out there. All right, this is Brother Malachi from the Great Millstone Nashville camp. And Lord willing that this lesson is edifying to the hopeful elect. Right, got this article pulled up. Came out a day ago, yesterday, and I just wanted to go into this, maybe mention a few other things going on in the news. There's quite a bit going on, different categories. It's a lot of news out there, man. The government of the United States is still shut down. Trump reneged and said that he ain't gonna help SNAP, but apparently the court or something will pay some for SNAP, but everything is starting to wind down here in America. America's it's coming to the end of its road. We can see that. We got all sorts of plagues. I still haven't heard the update. I mean, maybe I just didn't see it, but I still haven't heard that they captured that so-called infected monkey. Could that potentially bring out more pestilence? Then not to mention they just completely stopped discussing and talking about the BFLU and the MPOX, and like these things just randomly disappeared, even though they were talking about how it's all over the U.S. and all that, some months back. So and it's November, right? We still got this whole month. Then we got a whole nother month, and then we got 2026. We are 2 months away from 2026. God knows what's in store. All right, it's getting crazy. The division is at an all-time high. They're saying that the shutdown is, because of the left, and then the left blaming the right, and it's a sick game that they're playing here. And for all we know, they might not even open it back up. They might just keep letting it stay shut down, and that's going to result in more things starting to crumble, and then, problem solution. We don't know. You just had, matter of fact, let me go to that. Yep. Massive explosion in Louisville. There's two things here. Well, first of all, they keep talking about this 3-eye atlas as well, talking about how it could be aliens, which we know, the so-called UFOs, they're the chariots, man. The angels are in there. All right, but we got this. It says, what's about to happen? Top Trump officials are moving into military bases over assassination fears. Right, and it might not be just because of assassination fears, which that shows more sedition, more division. That shows civil war. But then look at this. Stock market crash. Hindenburg omen, which when you look that up, it's like let me just bring it up for you. Hindenburg. It says Hindenburg refers to the German airship LZ-129 Hindenburg, which tragically crashed on May 6, 1937, while attempting to dock in Lakehurst, New Jersey. And it just came crashing down. Right? Fast. Matter of fact. Because this is talking about here, it says, stock market crash. Hindenburg omen triggered. Fed just dumped $29 billion in overnight repo cash October 31st. So this just happened. Well, people were celebrating Halloween and people were worried about food stamps. This fucking economy is collapsing.
This colorized footage from 1937 shows the Hindenburg disaster, sometimes referred to as the Titanic of the sky. Of the 97 people on board, 13 passengers and 22 crew members died, along with one worker.
See if we can get a little better.
Oh, it's flashing fast, and all the folks under flash. Get it started. It's flashing, and it's flashing.
So you see why they referred to it as that. All right, here we go with the Trump snap. It says Trump suggests U.S. won't pay any SNAP benefits during shutdown, contradicting court filing. Trump says he's withholding SNAP benefits until shutdown ends. Which one is that? All right, who knows? Let me get a scripture real quick, and I'm going to get into this other article. Well, I'm going to get a few here. Let me hold that. Let me get Sirach 39. Because if you're really in this thing, man, you're going to be paying attention to these prophecies, because this is what's keeping us going. Right? This is like them old-fashioned trains where they got to keep shoveling coal into the furnace. You know, these prophecies, seeing these articles come out, it should boost you, because we are that much closer to the end. So you should be watching these things. You should actually be invested. This is the ministry that we're talking about here. This is your life. You have been inducted into this ministry. This is not a light thing. One wrong move and you could perish. Do you not understand that? Do you not see that? Are you not grasping the realism of that? Okay? We need to be focused. We need to be locked in. We need to be doing what we need to be doing. Pray. Pray to Yahweh Shemel Shai. All right, Sirach 39:1. It's about to get crazy, not just for these people, but for us too. We're going to get tried. We're going to be tempted, right? Revelations 3:10, the hour of temptation, when they mandate that RFID or NFC C-hip implant, we're going to be a part of that, right? So let me get this. Sirach 39:1, it says, but he that giveth his mind to the law of the Most High and is occupied in the meditation thereof will seek out the wisdom of all the ancient and be occupied in prophecies. So you need to be occupado. Okay, let me get the etymology for occupied. Or occupy would be good. It says to take possession of and retain or keep, also to take up space or room or time. Right? And the Lord ain't asking for much. Right? Like Yahweh Shai said, Well, like the scriptures say, firstly, it says, my commandments are not grievous. And then Yahweh Shai said, his burden is light. You see? But you need to be, like it says right there, employed. You can't be idle. You got to be paying attention to these prophecies in the news and all these things that's going on in the earth. At the same time, you need to be building yourself up in the spirit through Yahweh Shemel Shai, of course. You know, praying, fasting, staying positive in the midst of all the negativity that's just constantly flowing all over the place. All right, and if you were a man that was appointed the Spirit to teach, you need to be bringing these prophecies out and doing some lessons. It's as simple as that. All right, Matthew 24 and verse 3. And as he sat upon the Mount of Olives, the disciples came unto him privately, saying, tell us, when shall these things be? And what shall be the sign of thy coming and of the end of the world? End of the world meaning end of the age, end of Esau's age. All right, 2 Ezra 6 and 9. I'll just read a few of these. I'll probably read down to 13. Well, actually, before I do that, let me go ahead and get this. All right, it says, DoorDash driver who went to the wrong address lost 2 feet of his bowels after being shot by a resident whose wife deleted doorbell videos. So, let me go down here. It was a 24-year-old that got shot. It says his phone battery died. He ended up at his home. It says not realizing he was at the wrong address, the driver went up to Riley's front door with a bag of food, asking if they had placed an order. Riley apparently came to the door wielding a gun and told the driver to leave, it's just extreme. Okay? Most people I don't personally have one because we're not allowed to have them for shady ass reasons, it seems, at where I'm at. But majority of the people have Ring cameras or some sort of security system. Okay? So you mean to tell me, bro, he obviously knew this was a DoorDash driver. I know you can't trust people now, but this is just, it's over the top. Right? You walk up immediately with a gun. And even then, even if that was the case and it was just I get having a gun, but why you open the door with it in your hand? It's just through. But even outside of that, all right, let's continue the story here. It says, because this is where it really is fucked up, right? It says Riley apparently came to the door wielding a gun and told the driver to leave, which he did. When the driver attempted to leave the property in his vehicle, Riley allegedly shot him in the back, causing devastating injuries. And that's why it says up here, he lost 2 feet of his bowels. So here it is. This guy comes up to the door because he's lost and he doesn't know where he is. You tell him to leave. He says okay, which you could have simply just helped him. You could have simply just helped him. You could have helped him charge his phone. You could have showed him a GPS because maybe he literally could just be on the wrong street. Could be a street over, But instead of helping the man, you come up to the door with a gun. You tell him to leave. He leaves, and then you shoot him in the back. What the fuck? That's attempted murder, man. And this dude right here really needs to get his ass put to fucking death. Him and his goddamn wife. All right, because his wife says she deleted the doorbell videos, and that proves they had a Ring camera. So she's trying to cover the shit up because she knows that her stupid punk ass husband, most likely a goddamn Edomite, fucked up and did some grimy weirdo shit. So both of these people need to be put to death. All right, but anyways, Matthew 24, because the reason why I brought out this article is because damn near every day now, I see articles, because I'm also into true crime, but I see articles that bring out these cases nowadays, and they're horrifying. The desensitized nature that people have nowadays, and what's the word for people that have no emotions towards or don't care? Hold on. Narcissistic. It said, a person who disregards others' feelings and only cares about their own is described by several terms such as selfish, narcissistic, callous, or apathetic. Yeah, there you go. They lack empathy. And people are doing heinous crime, brutalizing people, their own kids, their parents, their grandparents, their best friends, their husband, their wife, just crazy shit is going on. And you think this is normal? No, this is a sign that we're at the end, and it's only going to get worse. All right, Matthew 24 and verse 4. And Yahushua answered and said unto them, take heed that no man deceive you. For many shall come in my name, saying, I am Hamashiach, and shall deceive many. And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. We've been seeing that for a while now, right? We got this whole... even recent, past few weeks, right? We got, first of all, we still got the Israel Gaza, they're on and off over there, which that's just a genocide. Then you got Russia, Ukraine, they still going at it. But the past few weeks, now you got America talking about Venezuela, not talking about Nigeria. Trump is potentially planning to put troops on the ground to fight Mexican cartel. You're fighting all these different wars, all these different battles, putting people in all these different lanes. You're getting stretched out thin. And meanwhile, while America and Trump is so focused on all these foreign issues that's going on in the earth, America is absolutely deteriorating every single day that goes by. What the fuck? You're worried about Nigeria, but the economy could collapse within the next 6 months. Maybe you should focus on that. Because they're over there worshiping a false-ass fucking God anyways. Christianity ain't nothing but a crock of bullshit, man. That's been proven time and time again. If you're a Christian in 2025, whatever is coming to you, you deserve. unless you have not heard. Right? But if you haven't heard, you're hearing now. Christianity is utter bullshit, man. It has nothing to do with the Bible. Okay? It says, but the end is not yet, because, there's still more things to come, right? Mainly, the main one being the mark of the beast. It says, for a nation shall rise against nation and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines and pestilences and earthquakes in diverse places. The earthquake's been going crazy. It says, all these are the beginning of sorrows. Then shall they deliver you up to be afflicted, and shall kill you, and ye shall be hated of all nations for my name's sake. And then shall many be offended, and shall betray one another, and shall hate one another. And many false prophets shall rise, and shall deceive many. And because iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold. So with all these things that's going on earth that are going to continue to increase, all these plagues, especially here in America, the love of many will wax cold. Okay? Verse 13, it says, but he that shall endure unto the end, the same shall be saved. So Yahushua told us, look, you make it through the end, you maintain your integrity, retain it, continue to serve Yahweh Shemel Shai until your last breath. If you even have a last breath, you might get beamed up, right? Many will not taste death, of the elect. Yahweh Ratazah were a part of that remnant. But strive for the truth unto death, and the Lord shall fight for thee. Sirach 4:28. So just continue to fight, continue to keep the faith, and stay out of the public, man. Stay in your house. When you got to go out in public, be in and out. If you're at work, out in public, just keep your head down, keep your head on a swivel. Stay out of it, because there's a lot of weird, crazy shit that's about to go down over however from today till when Yahweh Shai comes back, and it's only going to get worse. So Lord, willing that this lesson was edifying, before I close, I want to give all praises to Yahweh Ba'Shem El Shai, Ba'Shem Rechak Wadash, double honors the Apostle Elder Great Millstone. Shalom.